Sleep's really, really important to everybody, we all know that. But to me personally, if I'm working too hard and I don't get enough sleep, that's when I get run down and ill. So I prioritise my sleep.
So some nights you're really tired, you know, and you're exhausted, and I just felt older. That was how I would describe it. And then that was kind of then juxtaposed with other nights where you can't sleep and you're agitated and you're restless.
Prior to menopause, I could sleep through anything. I slept through tornadoes, I slept through storms, I slept through absolutely anything. But that's one of the symptoms that came on very, very early, is I couldn't sleep through the night. I'd be exhausted through the day. I'd be taking a nap by 12 o'clock.
I'm a pretty good sleeper generally. The hot flushes were a problem. They wake you up all the time, and that probably contributed to the tiredness, although I do think my tiredness started before the hot flushes. Those were a real wake-up call. And it's hard to manage them. And that's when I thought, no, I have really got to have my sleep. And that's when I went to the doctor and said, look, I can't manage this anymore.
Sleep hygiene is really important. It almost becomes more important now as you may start to struggle with sleep. And so that means having time away from your screen before you go to bed. Make sure that you're relaxing and switching off before you go to bed.
I have the window open, just a little crack sometimes, just to let some fresh air circulate through the room. I put some pillow spray on at night. I think that sort of gives it a nice scent to the room with lavender and things, and that helps me as well.
There's something to be said about making sure that your bedroom is associated with going to sleep and not, for example, working. And I know that can be really challenging when, you know, many of us are still working from home, but trying to set that environment up for your sleep is really important.
I have invested in a really good bed, because if you're not sleeping very well and your bed isn't quite as good as it could be, it irritates the living daylights out of you in the middle of the night.
If it's physical symptoms keeping you awake and stopping you going to sleep, then absolutely go and seek help. It doesn't have to be HRT if you choose not to. There are many other solutions that your doctor will be able to talk you through. Sometimes it's anxiety. You get into this horrible vicious cycle of being really worried about not being able to go to sleep, and then that keeps you awake.
During the worst time during my menopause, I would wake up twice, sometimes 3 times a night in a pool of sweat. And I don't just mean sort of hot and throwing the covers off, because we all joke about that. I mean in a puddle of sweat. So yeah, my sleep was seriously impacted.
It can be reassuring to know, I think, that you get your most restorative sleep in the first 4 to 5 hours. So although it's horrible waking up in the middle of the night, at least your body has had that restorative time. Obviously, that's not helpful if you can't get to sleep in the first place. And then have a chat with your doctor, because, you know, there are lots of different options, not just medication, of things that can help. And cognitive behavioural therapy is a talking therapy that could be really helpful as well. So it's about arming yourself with knowledge, look at the different options, and most importantly, address it, ask for help. Don't be struggling and suffering in silence.